I still can't explain it. This happened to me 2 years ago now, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. I've always tried to rationalize it, but never could. I live in the countryside of Ireland, right in the middle of nowhere. So it's very rare that I hear noises outside, and when I do, 99% of the time it's a cow that's escaped the field beside us into our garden, or our dog barking at a person waking by. But there is still that 1% of the time, and I can't explain what the 1% was. This happened on some night in late spring. The night was dark and clear. I could see every star in the sky. At around midnight, I went into the kitchen to get a midnight snack. Normal teenager activities. As I was getting my snack, I started hearing noises outside. I didn't think much of it, assuming it was probably some sort of animal, but it only got louder. I opened the window to try and get a better look or be able to hear it better. And all that I could see was my dog standing beside the back door. She would not take her eyes off the forest behind our house. The noise was one of the worst things I've ever heard. The only way I can possibly explain it was metal being scraped, but croakier, I guess. What worried me most was how my dog wasn't barking at whatever it was. She was scared, which is unlike her, and she was a big dog, Newfoundland. The fact she wasn't barking made me believe it wasn't an animal, as my dog wouldn't have hesitated to get to it. I couldn't explain it, so I brought the dog inside and went to bed, but it felt like the sound followed me to my room. Now the sound was at the front of my house, which didn't make sense how it got there so quickly. I decided to shut my curtains and try to get some sleep. As soon as I pulled the covers over me, there was a tap on my window. I stayed under the covers listening to it, and it was constant tap, tap, tap. It sounded like little stones being thrown at my window. This carried on for what felt like hours, but I fell asleep eventually. The next day I started talking to my neighbors, and I found out a man had moved into the house just around the corner from us. I asked around and found out things about him. He was supposedly not a law-abiding citizen. He had many run-ins with the police, and it was said he was a major drug dealer and probably on some major drugs. A month later, there was a massive amount of weed and other drugs found in a shed down the road from me, and I never saw the man again. I think that he must have been trying to torment me while he was high, but I have no idea how he was able to make that sound for at least 3 hours straight, or run around my house in less than a few seconds. Also, how long was he there for? Because he timed it perfectly. It just doesn't make sense to me. What I still wonder to this day is what would have happened to me if I went to see what it was. What were his or its intentions?